Modern Ma, good morning, and indeed it is a good morning, but as somebody reminded us over the years that any day you were able to get up out of bed, it is indeed a good morning. And for a few moments I would like to share with you some memories. Now, it is very important for all of us to have good memories as we go through life. And I'm just going to read a short section from Psalm 107. Oh, thank God he is good. His love never runs out. All of you set free by God, tell the world. Tell how he freed you from oppression, then rounded you up from all over the place, from the four winds, from the seven seas. I have always had the habit of memorizing certainly a text from God's Word. And one of them was from that psalm, albeit an older version, and it said, "Let the redeemed of the Lord say so." Or here it says, "All of you set free by God, tell the world." And as I've said, it's very important to have good memories. And of course we have some not so pleasant too, and they are all part of our formation, I believe. But I would like to share a memory going back many years. About 60 years ago. I was quite a young fellow at that time. And up to that time, my only mode of transport was the push bike. And I went wherever I had to go on the bicycle. But then, through the help of hire purchase, as it was then, I was able to buy a Lambretta scooter. And you know, it made such a difference in my life. I was still only on two wheels, but it just gave me some wonderful freedom. And it was something else to feel the breeze on a summer's evening as you moved along the roads. About 60 or so years ago, I was enjoying my scooter, and at that time I was living in Carlow, working and living in Carlow, where I was very happy. And I travelled down here one afternoon to Roscrea, home to see my parents. And we had a nice time and a nice meal, and after a few hours I left to go back home, or go back to my adopted town. And now, I didn't know anything about a motor engine or anything like that, and the roads that I was travelling on were not yet familiar to me. And I obviously should have left earlier that evening from Roscrea, from my parents' house. However, those years, you went into Burson-Austria and Mounterath and Portlaoise, and then over to Stradbally. And then out of that little town, you went up what is known as the Windy Gap. And that was just another wonderful experience. And again, I would say experience is very, very important. And if you were to stop on the top of that hill and look over, you would see what a wonderful scene, a beautiful scene. And even if you, at night time, if you got out of the car, especially on a frosty night, you would see the lovely, wonderful stars and all of that. So it was a lovely place. It is a lovely place. Anyway, I proceeded, and when I was about 6 or 8 miles from my destination in Carlow, going along unfamiliar terrain, suddenly the lights of my bike, my scooter, just went out. Now, I hadn't a clue. And I don't remember being too frightened, but I wondered, and I thought that I would just wheel my scooter onto to where I found the next house, and I would ask the people there if I could leave it there, and I would proceed to walk or thumb a lift back to Carlow. So, but suddenly I heard a sound in the background along the road that I had come, and here it was, a fellow motor cyclist, and he stopped. At least I think it was a he. He stopped and he asked me what was wrong. I said, my lights have failed. And he said, will it start? And I turned the ignition, and thankfully it started. And then he said two wonderful words. He said, follow me. And of course, I followed him into Carlow, and at the outskirts of Carlow, he just disappeared. I was never able to say thanks to that person for guiding me that night. And as I look back over the years and remember, I always thank God for that occasion. And you know, in life, it is very important to acknowledge God in our lives. As the old version in the Bible, in the Psalm, says, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. And again, in the message, all of you set free by God, tell the world. And as Christian people, I believe that we ought to always acknowledge God in our life, the little things as well as the big things, and never to be afraid to say, I believe in God, or that I felt God was very close to me at a particular time, as I do on many occasions over the years. And I would just like to read a few lines from another an amazing hymn found in the old Methodist hymn book, a couple of verses. Through all the changing scenes of life, in trouble and in joy, the praises of my God shall still my heart and tongue employ. And then it goes on to say, O make but trial of his love, experience will decide how blessed they are, and only they who in his truth confide. And this is where the experience comes in. I believe that if you are sharing something with somebody, that if you're able to say, well, I know I've been there, and you know, I have a good relationship with my GP, and sometimes he says something and I will say to him, well, you know, you have it in your book there, but I know I have experienced it and I'm still experiencing it. So when you have an experience with God through Jesus Christ, and especially during these hard and frightening times, it's very, very important to be able to say, I know my God, and be able to say with Job, I know that my Redeemer liveth. So I trust that you have many happy memories and that you will often look back on them. And at this stage I will say that you can't live on happy memories, you can't live on past blessings, but I believe they are a great encouragement to all of us. And we give God the praise and the honor and the glory. Amen.